choosing to start your series with footage of Catherine Hahn driving to the Marvel Studio lot.
There I was, sitting on my duff, playing Candy Crush, happy as a clam.
Nobody who still plays Candy Crush in 2024 is happy as a clam. For that matter, clams aren't all that happy. They're constantly dug up, ripped open, and devoured.
Oh, she's really most sincerely dead.
Never know.
Marvel trying to be cheeky by opening a window to Wanda's possible return in a future project, and me being so burnt out on it all at this point that I don't really care. So here's this in for trying to tickle a guy who's got nerve damage.
Find something?
Yeah.
Nah? Bro straight up saw you kneeling and staring at something for several seconds. You don't just get to pass that off. What did you expect him to think? That you were watching a line of ants? Or sending a leaf floating beautifully down the stream? Or getting in some on-the-job candy crushing?
What happened to you?
Short answer, Disney took a beloved member of the Avengers, gave her a meaningful streaming series about working through grief and the trauma of loss, and then out of nowhere turned her evil off-screen so she could be a villain for Doctor Strange. And after that, you gave her the Cersei Lannister treatment. And yes, that is the short answer. Making me watch a gag title sequence, which will never be shown again, even though it included the biggest laugh of the episode with that based on the Danish series WandaVision bit.
Official police business. Excuse me.
You use that line at the supermarket checkout too?
No. At the supermarket, she probably sees the line of 20 customers because there are only 2 cashiers working, sighs, and then goes to the self-checkout because life's too short to wait for somebody else to beep and boop my groceries. Also, you have a line that long out the front door of the library of a small town for books?
I guess I could run the book title.
Not making Officer Agatha come back with a warrant because I'm sure library checkout data is private and it's nobody's business if someone checked out the book What Is Your Poo Telling You back in April.
There was a fire.
A fire that only burned one bookshelf? We know this is a spell, but Detective Agatha doesn't yet and should know that this is not how fires work.
Eat my ass, Chief.
I'm not playing a police chief in this scene.
How'd she end up in the ravine?
Someone being so terrible at geology that they couldn't tell a creek from a ravine.
There they are.
The captions for Aubrey Plaza's line literally just says, speak Spanish, and I can't even begin to tell you how monumentally unuseful that is. So here's 14 cents for every keystroke it took to type that bullshit into your subtitles. Main character opens a room and looks sad cliché. Also, I know this is going to belong to her deceased child. I just don't know which episode it'll be revealed in. I'm going to guess and say episode 6.
Can I ask you something?
You just did.
You're only lying to yourself.
Which is still lying. Commandment number 9 has spoken. Let's get one more on the scoreboard here and against your eternal soul.
Oh my god, he came out of nowhere.
Title of my sex tape? Assaulting a minor in your custody.
What were you after?
The road.
Going there breaking and entering just to steal a 2009 Viggo Mortensen movie. It's a lot of work to be really, really sad.
Asleep in bed. Total loser? Or totally lying?
We are more than 20 minutes into this really boring episode now, and there's been 0 witching thus far. I was promised witching for the Halloween season. If I wanted a boring police procedural, I'd be watching Blue Bloods. Get to the spooky.
You know what? You're spending the night in the tank.
Just for speaking Latin? What? No habeas corpus? No per curiam? Not even a little sua sponte? Also, just once I'd like to hear a witch use Mongolian or Inuit instead of Latin for their mysterious chanting, just to see how it hits. The morgue isn't closed or locked in any way at night. Ah, would you look at that. Agatha's mystery is solved by invisible ink appearing out of nowhere. What a desperately unsatisfying conclusion to the mystery this episode has spent all of its time on. This transformation sequence where Agatha goes through all of her costumes from WandaVision is visually creative and fun, and just serves to remind me of the show I wish I was watching instead. I'd be screaming too if my first episode took over 26 minutes to start.
Hey, Miss Agnes, you feeling okay?
Show expects me to remember who these characters are from WandaVision as if my memories from the pandemic lockdown haven't already been violently erased.
Oh, I got it.
Let's get her inside.
Librarian. Chief of police.
Show will never answer important questions like, was she just play acting all of this at home the whole time? Is there actually a body in the woods? How does she keep her hair so strategically placed, and why does that make me so angry? Picking a wooden spoon as your kitchen weapon.
So that arrest was maybe more of a kidnapping.
All arrests are kidnapping from a certain point of view. Hand blading. Never seen someone get head-butted to their feet before, but first time for everything, I guess.
Don't you want me at my best?
Jennifer Barkley isn't reprimanding April Ludgate in this scene. Not killing your arch nemesis at their weakest. It'll free up your whole day. You can get ice cream afterwards. Unless your arch nemesis is dairy, in which case I'm so sorry the universe hates you so much.
Just let me get my purple back.
Thinking that dyeing your hair purple is a valid combat strategy.
The worst of them. The Salem Seven.
The Salem Seven. Huh. That's one more than the Sinister Six. So here's a sin for trying to one-up Sony, Marvel. This point in Sony's history is practically bullying a three-legged puppy. Not licking the wound on Agatha's lower neck as well. What? I'm just saying, if you have healing spit, I think you should be thorough with it.
She took every little bit of power I had and left me with household appliances.
No magic? How can you deny the obvious witchcraft surrounding air fryers? Yeah, super unexpected that a random mug of liquid that's been sat out for 3 years while you were in a mind prison tastes like absolute ass.
The house is yours, random boy. Be sure to tell the vengeance seekers I said hi.
Take note, Gen Z, the only way left for you to own a house is to free a witch from a powerful curse. And even then, you're stuck in the suburbs with vengeance seekers. Or as they're otherwise known, HOAs.
Road is no place for a kid.
I'm 16.
Kids.
Okay, so confession, I know an egregious amount about you.
How did Teen manage to discover Agatha and find out so much about her when, as far as we know, Fury and Shaeld have no idea who she is? And sure, I'm certain we'll find out that random Teen won't be nearly as random as we've been led to think. But why isn't his detailed knowledge of her setting off alarm bells for Agatha? Shouldn't she think it's weird that he knows so much?
That's why I saved you from the spell you were under.
Saved? She was the lead in her own detective TV show, kid. She was living the dream. What you've done is drag her into a reality where she's the powerless lead in a spinoff to someone else's show that was itself completely undermined by someone else's movie. Nothing to brag about.
If you've got the goods to break a spell cast by the Scarlet Witch, why do you need the road?
I've studied, don't get me wrong, but that can only take you so far.
Teen will go on to say that to get the powers he wants, he has to walk the witch's road, which kind of suggests that he doesn't have the goods that Agatha is apparently so impressed by and believes were required to free her. So how did he break the spell, and why does Agatha still not question how he pulled it off?
Who are you?
My name is...
Hexes that draw attention to the exact thing they're trying to conceal. I'm not going to pretend to know how these spells work, but surely there's a better way of hiding his identity that doesn't scream, "I'm a secret! I'm a secret! Aren't you dying to know who I am?"
What do you know about covens?
Just that they're drawn together by mysterious forces of fate.
Which is writer talk for pay no attention to how convenient the next 15 minutes of Agatha forming a 5-person coven in less than 12 hours is about to feel because we just told you fate is taking care of it. Okay?
Within any 3-mile radius, there will be a collection of witchy enough people to form a coven.
Any 3-mile radius? Any? How does that rule work at sea or in the sky? Hell, f***ing Nebraska couldn't guarantee there are humans within a 3-mile radius, let alone witchy ones.
There's something else. It's not the first time your witchkin betrayed you. That's why you're here. And I am not interested.
Then why not keep quiet? Agatha was ready to leave. Why expose yourself as the real deal if you want nothing to do with her? This is like the pilot saying, "Is there a doctor on board?" And someone replies, "Yes, but I'm a doctor of mushrooms." Well, I'm also a medical doctor, but I'm on vacation and not interested in helping. Also, that's right, the first witchy type person they investigate is a legit witch. Yeah, I know the 3-mile radius deal is doing the heavy lifting here, but you could have at least shown us a mini montage of fraudsters, flat earthers, and astrologers, so I knew they had to work a little for it.
Every witch has their process.
And this witch's process is to obtain as many lamps and candles as possible while also maintaining the lowest level of lighting possible. It's quite a skill.
Witches like you are the reason people think we poison apples and steal children.
Is Lily insinuating Agatha was Walt Disney in one of her previous eras?
I found this on your door. The path you're currently on leads nowhere.
That's weird. I don't remember Agatha telling us that the Coven stead ensured 100% of the witches within that 3-mile radius would also be conveniently incentivized to form a coven too.
That was amazing. And we got a team roster out of the deal too.
It's an unbelievable bit of good fortune, isn't it? No, seriously, I don't believe it.
My probiotic candles are perfect for both ambiance and metabolic regulation.
Wow, this show really said we can't get Gwyneth Paltrow back into the MCU, but she sent us some free products to include in our next series, so I guess there's that.
I'm really sorry about your recent legal troubles.
Calling your fictional news website The News. Also, we're now 2 for 2 on the witches insist they want nothing to do with Agatha until their legal troubles are spelled out for all to see front. Again, neither Agatha or the teen think it's weird that this has happened twice in as many hours, and neither suspect they're still in a TV show, handing them plot progression after plot progression.
She's a blood witch.
A blood witch is...
Child of a witch.
Teen apparently did enough witchy research to learn about the road and how to free Agatha from a Scarlet Witch-induced mind prison, but apparently didn't learn about the different types of witches along the way. Sorry, but this kind of feels like knowing what happened to Gandalf at the Battle of Wolf 359, but somehow not knowing he's a Time Lord.
You groupers don't get it. It's just a stupid song.
40 million copies worldwide, beg to differ.
40 million copies worldwide what? Sold? Streamed? Given away out of the back of a truck? Specifics matter.
How did you...
I'm an ex-cop. It's going to be the answer to a lot of questions.
A lot of the questions that the show isn't prepared / can't be bothered to answer, like how being an ex-cop allows you to find the current address of a total stranger who randomly dropped by your store.
Why don't you head upstairs and let us just do our thing, okay?
That way, you'll be the audience's way of viewing the creepy people that are arriving both perfectly on time, but also too late to stop me bullshitting this spell.
Am I supposed to know this song?
Yes, you are. And it's weird that none of the other actual witches here don't question the fact that you don't. If I had a nickel for every recent Disney Plus series that featured a coven of witches conjuring a dark ritual by singing, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. I mean, sure, it looks cool, but would they still be going through these perfectly staged theatrics if there wasn't an audience? If Teen hadn't been out there, would they already be in the basement? Or are they bound to synchronize spook stalking as their only mode of transport? A couch? Really? He's barricading a door with something that wouldn't even stop him, and he doesn't have superpowers that we know of or care about. Yet. Probably ever.
It did not take this long last time.
Title of the sequel to my sex tape? Yeah, if I'm ever getting haunted like this, I'm definitely going to sit right next to a window and chill out instead of going to the Coven of Witches in the basement for protection.
Was that there before?
Nope, it had to wait for its cue, which consisted of the cloaked Samaras breaking into the house and you guys having a heated argument. I think that's in the ballad somewhere too. People love that Sam Raimi shit they did to Wanda in Multiverse of Madness, so let's make sure to include some of that sweet bendy limb stare walking into this arrangement too, even though it really doesn't make any sense. When they were handing out the invites, Agatha said,
Be there at 5.
So why does she cut it so close? Could Agatha not have scheduled this for 4 p.m. and missed the creepy cloak people by a full hour? It's just a follow-up note that Sharon is still going along with the follow the blue flowered road that happens to be in Agatha's basement, as if she knows it'd be rude to interrupt the final crescendo of the episode. Well, let's see. Agatha didn't have memories, then she got memories, and then she assembled a heist crew. It took 2 episodes and they still don't have the Declaration of Independence.
Take me to Witch's Road.
Oh yeah, and there's a road. Powerful stuff, really.
This is a kidnapping!
The 4 words uttered by my grandma in the toothpaste aisle at Target, which led to 5 hours of intense questioning by our wonderful friends in law enforcement, somehow makes its way into the episode.
Is this like perpetual night? Like, as a vibe?
Kids.
All I would have expected to see down here were remnants of our failed public transit system.
99% of the time, the sin of public transit is that it's overworked and underfunded. However, in this instance, the fault lies with the genius that built a subway underneath a suburb.
Random woman with no obvious magical qualities.
This point should have been raised last episode when Sharon thought y'all were there to do laundry.
Someone's put a sigil on that boy.
We can crack him open later.
Everyone goes along with just ignoring the obviously important mystery of the teen's identity, because Maz Kanata, Agatha, Disney, has decided that it's a story for another time.
It's just a really horrible party.
People who don't realize that all I can do is supply the sandwiches. It's your job to bring the fun.
Rule number 1, do not step off the road.
Stealing your road rules from The Hobbit instead of road rules.
Was that there before?
You should stop asking that question.
Agatha would be excellent all along at TVSins. Episode thinks it was directed by Tarantino, making me wonder if they're going to love it or list it.
I look like one of my customers.
That's consumerist.
Or an agent of Mephisto.
Listen, these offhanded references just don't do it for me anymore. Either Mephisto me or get on with the show. Wait.
To the prize.
Dropping Highlander references like I wasn't already worried about this series ending with a character attaining some vague all-powerful ability that can't be defined without risking the destruction of the thin veneer of continuity holding the MCU together.
I would drink the blood of a virgin if it would smooth out some of these wrinkles.
Confusing witches with vampires. Also, if wrinkles are your concern, you don't drink virgin blood, you bathe in it. Just like skincare icon Countess Elizabeth Bathory.
Oh my god, I have jowls!
Stealing Will Smith's allergic reaction from Hitch, but somehow making it look worse than Hitch.
It just serves our best interests is all.
Are all witches nearsighted? Holding up a few hairs in front of half your face shouldn't be enough to fool everyone into thinking you're also inflamed by the poison wine.
Tate didn't drink. He's not in the Coven. And he's underage.
Props to you for being a responsible chaperone, but I'm going to need a little more backstory on Jen before I believe that one of her biggest concerns in their current paranormal situation is that no one violates the minimum legal drinking age.
How long is that going to hold?
Episode adds a symbolic ticking clock when it already had a literal ticking clock.
What happens when it breaks?
Not being able to guess what will happen when the glass holding the water back breaks.
Get those hairs out of the way.
Decorative fruit candles always tempting me to take a bite. They don't open a single one of these skincare products before tossing the whole container in the sink. It's like the potion doesn't actually need the ingredients. It just likes to know that you put the effort into gathering them up.
It's a super fancy cooking tool. It heats water to a specific temperature so you can cook your meat evenly. My dad loves his.
Not stating up front that this trial would include a paid promotion. Crying books. Huh. What will Amazon think of next?
I must have forgot something.
Blood.
Wanting me to believe that
Frankincense and the gut of a eusocial insect.
are more easily remembered than blood.
They can take your power, Jen, but they can't take your knowledge.
Agatha thinks that the potion needs Francis Bacon to roll over in his grave.
Thanks for being underage.
Saying this to anyone, ever, at all, for any reason.
Agatha!
Stop cutting hands for blood. You know, get that much out of it and you risk slicing important nerves. Just prick a finger. Sheesh.
Now!
Episode summons these previously unseen magical shot glasses instead of, I don't know, having one of these witches summon them.
Did it work?
And now I'm worried that the Witch's Road is just going to be a series of escape rooms.
She's so little. Why is she so heavy?
Short shaming. Is that a thing? Or is everybody just cool to make fun of short people? Not appreciating the water slide you've been gifted from completing the trial.
Sharon's dead.
Killing Mrs. Foreman, even as a possible fake out, because let's be honest, you don't cast Deborah Jo Rupp just to randomly kill her off in the 3rd episode. Touching a dead person's eyelids, cliche. Not adding the appropriate comma between you and let. You can do a lot of shit with magic, but joining a dependent clause to an independent clause without a comma isn't one of them.
We didn't think you had it in you.
You didn't think you would want them.
Isn't it amazing how much you can say with a wink? For example, this wink is saying, never mind, teen, that was a sentence I could have very easily said in my head, but I need the audience to know that I know more than I'm letting on, so I had to say it out loud.
Everybody's being really quiet.
Could that possibly be because of the dead person nearby and the near-death experience they all just went through? Can we get Jen a copy of the previously ons? It's clearly been too long since last episode.
My mom did die on the road. She died on tour.
So Alice has been sitting on this my mom died on the road double meaning all along, but how has she kept this secret? When the lead singer of a famous band dies mid-tour, it tends to be pretty well documented. I'd at least think Teen, who is, I believe, a teen, would have stumbled upon this on the Instatalks, or whatnot. Careful there, Agatha. Tree leaning like that is just a few degrees away from summoning a Riker witch to the Coven.
The ballad clearly says, with Coven true, glory shall be thine.
No, it doesn't. It's Coven 2.
That doesn't make any sense.
You're in a nightmare taskmaster forest that you summoned by singing at a basement floor. None of this makes sense, so why would the lyrics?
We would not have survived the last trial without my expertise.
Not all of us did.
Alice would be excellent at TVSins.
We were supposed to look out for each other, but we didn't. That was our fatal mistake.
I'm not doubting Teen's sincerity here, but I am doubting his logic. Their fatal mistake was not getting the potion to her in time, or, I don't know, not figuring out that she wasn't even a f***ing witch and shouldn't have been there in the first place.
I wish we could go home.
Does he really, though? Or is this more misdirection? I mean, I can understand being scared after being faced with an actual death, but conquering the road was his idea, and it feels like he's either giving up too quickly or just wants us to be thinking that. Either way, following that middle bunny trail made me miss the entirety of the next scene, and this is why we sin twisty turning plot that ends up being more nuisance than enjoyment.
What if we summon a backup Green Witch?
To the road?
There is so much that could go wrong.
I'm not saying I need the Coven rulebook literally spelled out to me, but it would help to have some context for how impressed I should be, because so far everything this show has pitched as impossible, myth, or incredibly dangerous has ended up, well, not really being any one of those things.
I guess we just have to be careful and specific.
Oh, it's like a genie situation where you have to be super specific or you end up with world peace via Thanos snap. That shouldn't be a problem. I'm sure they'll know exactly what to say.
May she be pleasant looking?
Can she bring some Advil?
Interesting. So being careful and specific actually not that important. Sweet. Good to know. Glad we built up so much tension for that. Also, episode never provides an Advil dispensing Aubrey Plaza.
The spell must marinate.
Just 8.
And it must arrive as a mid-sentence contradictory jump scare. Did the MCU get a package deal on the spooky, bendy, snappy limb special effects? Yeah, we'll give you 1 movie, 2 episodes of TV, and we'll throw in a fake spider decoration to sweeten the deal. I mean, thanks, but I'm not even sure what we'd do with a fake spider. I think that'd look a little out of place and desperate, right? Screw it. That's basically our brand now anyway.
So, what do we think? Can we trust her?
Show seems to think this is a question Jen is stupid enough to even consider. Unlike the show, I do not think Jen is naive enough to trust any of these witches, let alone an Agatha-adjacent one.
Do I hate her or do I want her phone number?
Speaking behind someone's back when they're no more than 3 feet ahead of you as if they don't have supernatural powers. Or, you know, ears.
Pass.
What's the plan, Alice?
Go back, go around, go anywhere but in that house.
Well, then what exactly is Alice doing on the road at all? Is she hoping that if she avoids the scary tasks, the forest of tricks and trials will eventually provide her with a nice crossword puzzle to solve? Or a moderately challenging Wordle, perhaps?
No.
Thinking you can deter an entire internet of artistic fanfictioners who are most definitely screaming yes. Alice removes her rose-tinted glasses as she looks at her mother, which makes this metaphor a little too on the nose.
I get the pleasure of watching you do what you do best.
Which is?
Kill all the witches around you, one by one.
What's Agatha's plan here? They still need a green witch, right? So either they turn on Rio and they're screwed for the road, or, and I think this is more likely, Rio kicks everyone's ass and Agatha has to find 3 new witches. What was she going for here?
Nothing's happening. Maybe this curse isn't so bad.
Premature this curse isn't so bad aberration.
The only way to end a curse is to face it.
Why would I be scared of a curse that can be conquered with a face your fears cliche?
It's you, isn't it? You brought it in here. I didn't think it was real!
Alice holds on to her knowledge of what might be a curse until the last possible second because life and death situations and third-degree burns are just more fun that way. The curse suddenly decides to throw Teen instead of branding him like everyone else. This is probably because he isn't a true member of the Coven, or it's because the curse really likes Back to the Future and wanted to recreate its own Marty is slowly dying while playing the guitar scene. Yeah, I'm sure it's that last one.
We have to play Lorna's ballad.
I'm not playing that song.
Wow. Alice seriously just said, nah, I think I'd rather live with the curse and die here with all of you rather than play that song again.
I play guitar, sort of.
Guitar Hero enthusiasts.
Play it right, play it well, and maybe we won't die.
Play it right and well she shall, and it will f***ing rule, even though this is the same song we heard in episode 2. I guess it's finally time to face my curse of grumpiness and give back a sin for this song.
Keep playing!
Why didn't Alice draw a circle around all of them before they started playing? Did you run out of knife? Protection witches who fail to spot entire shards of glass poking out of a person they're supposed to protect.
What's wrong with him? He's bleeding.
Unhelpful triaging.
What else can we do? What else can we do?
Doesn't Rio have healing spit? Couldn't you just ask her to lick the wound? She'd probably enjoy it.
Jen! What do you need, Jen? What do you need? Jen! Water and moonlight.
Say what you want about the road. It always seems to have nearby water and perfect mood lighting. Great for hydration, setting the mood, and healing deadly stab wounds.
3 of Swords.
It's TVSins Tarot time, everyone, where we Google so you don't have to. The 3 of Swords is symbolic of loss and grief. For example, the feeling you get when you know something important has just been hinted at, but you'll probably lose all memory of it until the show does a smash cut montage of all of Lilia's ramblings. Who said tarot readings had to be vague nonsense? I liked this scene better in Indiana Jones.
I never really identified as just a witch.
Skip.
When Mom died.
Skip.
Now you know. It was all for you.
Skip. Oh no, that's 3 skips in one campfire. That means the show just summoned Skipple Juice. His only known weakness is the hot chocolate. Quick, hot chocolate lady. Phew. Thanks, hot chocolate lady. Close call.
You know, we really kind of hated each other in the beginning.
The utter redundancy of spelling out the thing you've spent so much time subtly showing us through action.
You ever hear of the Daughters of Liberty?
No.
Exactly.
Everyone laughing, like they're oblivious that they'll be remembered just like the Daughters of Liberty.
That boy isn't yours.
Notice that she didn't say he isn't your son. She just said that he isn't hers, as in he isn't yours anymore since you gave him up for the Darkhold. Look, I'm fine with whatever happens, but spinning us in circles about who Teen is not the part of the show that brings me back each week. It's the badass coven of witches that I crave. At this point, whatever the teen ends up being will be as disappointing as, well, as Agatha and Rio almost kissing but not kissing. As a totally random example that I am not currently focusing on right now or for the next 15 minutes. Oh, so this is where the talking fox from the Green Knight ended up. Thanks for continuing his story after Sir Gawain ran him off. I was really curious about his fate. A side note, if I'm trying to maintain interest by distracting myself with the Green Knight, this does not bode well for you. Casting the pronoun game spell. Choosing crawling on the ground like roaches as your style of locomotion when trying to quickly find someone.
I get one?
If you give me one back, yeah.
Aww, what a sweet moment. I really like Alice. She might be one of my favorite characters. And dude looks like he needs a big sister right about now. I can't wait to watch a relationship grow with Teen. At least the episode isn't blatantly manipulating my emotions so it can kill her off soon and try and make me feel things. Glad that would never happen. Wait, all it took to defeat this Salem 7 member was a stick? Did the Salem 7 graduate from the Stormtrooper School of Fighting Ewoks? E.T.ing your Bruce Almighty Moon.
Why haven't we been doing this all along?
Because it wasn't time for the show to check this witch thing off its list yet? Sure, turning into a bunch of insects is creepy, but it didn't achieve much besides gently knocking them from their sticks. So far, I feel like the Salem 7 could be taken out by competent animal control. Also, if there are 7 of them, why is only 1 here? What are the other 6 doing? Not killing witches, that's what.
So, all we have to do is complete the trial.
How? Kiss, marry, kill?
Not saying the name of the game correctly. Just for that, I'm marrying DreamWorks, Warner Brothers, and you can figure out where that leaves you, Disney.
How do you know?
A blood moon. When the veil between the living and the dead is at its thinnest.
Oh.
M-R-S-H-A-R-T.
Mrs. Hart?
Assuming the spirit you're talking to is named Mrs. Hart instead of opening your mind to the possibility that it's Mr. Shart.
I am. I'm Sharon Davis.
While your Deborah Jo Rupp impression is spot on, I'm now reminded again that you killed her off in episode 4. And every time you remind me you wasted Deborah Jo Rupp, I will sin you for wasting Deborah Jo Rupp. Just once, I wish spirits would pick a less obvious way than light flickering to alert the living to their presence. Throw some socks. Knock the ketchup bottle over. Turn the radio onto the smooth jazz station or something.
P-U-N-I-S-H.
I swear playing a Ouija board is just the slowest possible way to earn your reading sin.
The lies, the cheating, the complete and utter lack of humanity.
Didn't you defraud thousands of customers with faulty products and wind up burning several people? Just saying, maybe someone a little more innocent should levy these charges against Agatha.
And people ask me why I don't have female friends.
Mistaking gender is the reason you don't have any friends. I don't even think the bunny actually even likes you. Character gets dripped on, so we know something is hiding in the ceiling above them. Cliché. Yeah, what are you doing? You wanted them to punish Agatha, and just when they were about to comply, you take over Agatha and start punishing them? Make up your mind, Spirit.
That is a ghost.
Well, I'm glad somebody with expertise pointed that out to me. I had no clue.
A minute ago, you were ready to slit her throat.
Yeah, well, her mother can't have her.
I'm sure that Agatha and Rio's complicated relationship will be explained down the road, but I'm confused now. So I'm impatient now. So I sin now.
Why do you hate me still?
In your mother's defense, you did kill her and the rest of her coven. Personally, I've held grudges for quite a bit less. Manifesting powers in order to move the plot along. No, and no.
Just stop! Make her stop!
Why don't you make her stop? At least show me one of the characters physically trying to stop Agatha. They're all basically like, oh no, this is so terrible. I wish it would stop without me putting forth any effort to make it stop.
Nicholas Scratch!
See? This is what I'm talking about. At hearing Nicholas Scratch's name, Agatha stopped so suddenly that I'm pretty sure just a slap would have done it. Really, people, in life-threatening situations, be a hero, not a bystander.
That's what it means to be a witch. Killing people to serve your own agenda.
Not expecting Agatha to be Agatha. Anyone with eyes can see that she's ruthless. It's like being a fan of Jeffrey Dahmer and being shocked when you find out he's a cannibalistic serial killer necrophiliac. Wait, Why are you a fan of Jeffrey Dahmer, you sicko?
Are you sure?
Oh, Han is such a delight. This line read right here is creepier than all the twisted limbs and deadite makeup money can buy.
Come, pet.
Catherine Hahn still isn't talking to me in this scene.
What is... Teen, stop!
Not going limp when someone's trying to carry you. Even possessed, you'd be much harder to carry. Someone alive for hundreds of years should know that. Also, why not blast them with Alice's magic? Can she not use it or something? Instructions unclear, thrown into a bog. What? Why does he have a headdress now? Ugh. Well, wouldn't be a Marvel show if every single episode didn't end with me being confused out of my skull. Scene does not contain a Zemo dancing in the background. There. Fixed it. A palm reading tent at a bar mitzvah? Someone needs to reread Leviticus 19:26.
Your lifeline is broken in two.
That's a really strange way of saying you're about to die, but your body will be taken over by the soul of a kid that was created by a powerful witch's magical manifestation that actually created bodiless life.
You don't need to be a psychic to see that you're a good egg.
You may not need to be a psychic, but your assessment would be more credible if you'd spent more than 2 minutes with the kid.
Will you make sure that they get it back? Which kid? I don't remember.
Setting a task upon Marvel's The Coat Wrangler without so much as a thank you.
We've just been informed there's something happening with the anomaly in Westview. Everybody needs to go home as quickly and as safely as possible.
Wanda's dome lasted a little over a week and people still carried out events like this. In a universe where aliens open portals to space and superhero fights take down city blocks, you'd think sheltering in place is just a way of life until the soup stops souping. Push alerts usually explain themselves with at least a word or two, like tornado warning or tsunami alert. So whoever sent this needs to be fired for not including Red Dome being weird.
Mom!
No. Show got it all wrong. The rubbernecking mom should have been the one to cross the double line so the Dodge truck could dodge her. Missed the opportunity there, Marvsney.
Is he okay?
No, he's good.
Everyone knows that the parents are supposed to die tragically in a car crash, making the superhero an orphan. This is a sin for subverting my expectations and me liking it. I'm not supposed to like things. Let it be known that when the kid died, he was totally alone. Both parents ran off to get help. No need to have just one stay behind and, hold his head together or anything.
Is he breathing?
I see this episode will be showing us the Coven in flashbacks as a way to distract us from their deaths last episode. Joke's on you, show. I never believe anyone's permanently dead anymore because I don't think you're brave enough to kill anyone. Well, unless their death immediately allows a more interesting soul to take up residence in their body. This hospital ID bracelet would have been the perfect place to Easter egg about Wiccan. And to be clear, if you had Easter egged about Wiccan, I would have sent that as well.
So, the doctor was saying all the scans look clean, and there's no signs of permanent damage.
Head trauma bad enough to kill someone doesn't leave any permanent damage. I mean, I get the Billy's soul or whatever took over the body, but just because witches are involved doesn't mean you can just hand wave everything and call it magic. Dog can tell the main character isn't who they're pretending to be. Cliche.
Yeah, I don't understand what's happening right now.
Billy's powers are kicking in, but weren't they already kicking in before he body snatched? I would have thought he'd be more dazed by being in a different post-puberty body than by gaining superpowers he was already experiencing.
Do you mind if I go up alone?
No problem, of course.
No problem. He has amnesia. At least give the kid a hint. Your room is on the right. Disney waiting almost 40 years to finally acknowledge the Black Cauldron.
I'm William Kaplan.
And I am so bored. The last several episodes have had a momentum, a pizzazz, in murder. The last 15 minutes have not only killed William, but it killed any excitement I had for the show. I'm bored. Get back to the road. Get back to teen killing people.
I want you to know the truth. I want you to know the real me.
Saying you want someone to know the real you, but then not sharing that the real you hears voices or can read minds. I guess at this point, Teen hasn't really confirmed if he's hearing actual thoughts or his own. See, this is why you just get honest about what's going on. You can confirm if you have superpowers or just schizophrenic. Orange? Is this describing the Hex Dome as orange? It's red. It is scarlet. Wanda wasn't the tangerine witch, for f***'s sake. These headlines got it right. Why couldn't you, Doctor Whoever you are?
But I did find this guy on Reddit.
I see Reddit has taken the place of Craigslist as the go-to shortcut for characters magically connecting things together.
You must be Bonerific 69.
Show continues to waste Evan Peters on a tired boner joke instead of giving everyone the Quicksilver we actually wanted.
You're not wearing a wire, are you?
Touching a boy without consent. No, hold on. Wait, I want to actually amend that sin to touching a boy. Let's just amend it to touching.
Can you, do stuff now?
Why does he keep hinting at superpowers instead of just saying superpowers? I mean, I can do stuff. I do stuff all the time. None of it's super. Barely any of it is even enjoyable. Be more specific, please.
She's an ancient freaking witch who will F your shit, all right?
Saying F shortly before shit. Pick a lane. Either swear or don't, Marvel. I mean, you've already let Catherine Hahn get naked. You might as well let them drop an F-bomb or two.
My deal was way worse.
We know. You went from being the coolest member of X-Men in the Fox universe to a boner joke in the MCU. That is a bad deal.
She stole my house, completely ruined the market value.
What did Agatha do to ruin the value? The house looked in great shape to me. Now, Wanda, she had to have f***ed the market value. Who wants to move to the town of Once Dome where the once hero Wanda held everyone captive?
I mean, Wanda's dead.
How do you know that? We know that because we watched the movie, but in your universe, Wanda pieced out and left you the f*** alone. She died in a remote mountain cave. How would anyone outside of Stephen Strange, Wong, or America know Wanda died?
You seriously do not know what kind of crazy that lady eats for breakfast.
Failing to tell us if said crazy is part of a balanced breakfast, or if it's just junk, like breakfast from Dunkin'. Nutritionists in the audience need to know how many calories are in crazy. The web address for this site is search:/looky/reverse image search, and I'm here to tell you that's not how web addresses work. Titling this section, Fun Facts. So when Teen said he knew an alarming amount about Agatha, what he really meant is that he binge searched her one night recently. This must be how teachers feel after their students chat GPT a paper and claim to have retained anything they studied. Show makes us listen to the Ballad of the Witch's Road multiple times, but never lets us hear other titles like Miles to Go, Ember, Something Wicked, or Call the Coroners.
So, has a suspect been seen in the last 24 hours?
Episode fails to show us the part where Rio shows up. Was she really there or a figment of Agatha's imagination? If Rio isn't real, we'll probably have to have another flashback so we can watch Teen trapped in a closet while Agatha fights with herself. I want to see it now. Him finding the pendant/brooch thing and just knowing it's her personal item as opposed to all of the other things he just rifled through.
I'll stop if you stop!
You'll stop padding the runtimes of television shows by rerunning bits I've already seen if I stop sinning them? Well, that's not gonna happen. Looks like we're just locked in this never-ending spiral of previously on.
Could I just trouble you for a glass of water?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is the woman whose house you broke into not being a good enough host? F***ing Zoomers are so entitled.
Do not want to poke that. I do not want to poke the bear.
This entire scene is so f***ing funny. From the garden hose pistol to Han and Locke playing off of each other. Go ahead and take one more cent off for a great scene. Having an immaculate yard takes time and energy that could be spent on important things, like napping.
Come on, I do not want to go back in the closet.
Ha! Joe Locke is a f***ing treasure. So, here's another sin for not making this show Billy All Along, where Agatha plays the side character. How nice of the Salem Seven not to track Agatha down and kill her while she was literally stuck in the mud. Ridiculous. The amount of strength required to break a piece of wood that small is like a lot. He's turning into a Gary Stu. He's got telepathy, mind control, telekinesis, and now the ability to break small pieces of wood? It's just too much, man. Also, there's no real reaction from Billy here. No, oh no, this ancient evil witch I just tried to kill is back. I'd be concerned, or at least a little embarrassed I hadn't stuck the landing.
I'm not like you.
Where have I heard that before?
No clue. It wasn't on the previously on, so I'm pretty sure that means it never happened.
Where did you come by this fresh body you're wearing?
Okay, you don't want to tell me. That's fine.
It is not fine. You need to answer this question or don't bother asking it to begin with.
Don't you dare feel guilty about your talent.
The murder, though, feel as guilty about that as you want. But the body snatching, that's free real estate.
So you broke the rules. Big deal. That's what kept you alive. That's what makes you special.
Giving a pep talk to someone when you're really talking about yourself, cliche.
If you really want to finish this together, just know that I do not trust you.
I think you covered this with the whole trying to kill her bit.
Let's go find the next trial.
Episode takes 42 minutes to get back on the road.
I'm not that nice.
I think you covered this with the whole killing Lily and Jen bit. And even if they're not dead, you're still a dead. Ah, sudden close-up. Who let the M. Night demon in? Okay, I want a refund from the witch who assured me I could ward him off with some sage and the tears of a disappointed fan base. Homages that read more like rip-offs. Yes, I'm saying this scene should get out of the episode.
I'll get a nosebleed trying that hard to read my mind.
And you really don't want to start a beef with 11. She'll sue you for identity theft and scream at you.
You just can ask me your questions. Aloud.
I could just let you into my head, but that's a lot of work for the production team, and honestly, they're all tied up watching Tenet for the 14th time to help them time spaghetti the logic out of this episode.
Okay then, where's Rio?
Not that question.
Not immediately answering the only question thirsty fans are interested in.
Is Wanda Maximoff really dead?
Yes. No. Maybe.
Disney executives trying to gauge how badly fans want Wanda back before deciding whether she's actually dead.
That's different.
Actually, that's the most on-brand structure the road has shown you to date.
The road is a fickle mistress.
More vague insight. Thank you.
Billy would be Sasbrina the Teenage Witch at TVSins.
Classic.
Reminding me that 2 Angelina Jolie Maleficent movies exist, and that we're getting a 3rd one. Also, this classic remark reads a little too self-congratulatory given who owns this show. This would be like me dressing as a Prometheus School of Running Away from Things joke and then saying nice.
She's based on me, you know.
Citation need.
Prove it.
Listen, team, do you just want to take over? Because it's not all great shows, you know. There's plenty of Book of Boba Fett to sit through too, young man.
It's tarot. I know this, kind of.
Sweet. That makes you just as qualified as a professional tarot reader then.
Tarot is a con like any other. There's no magic to it. There's no skill.
Assuming that a well-executed con does not require skill. I get that this is supposed to be threatening, but there's enough space between the swords that people should be able to position themselves without being witch kebabbed as the ceiling lowers.
I was falling.
Yeah, we both were.
They live! But we're rapidly approaching invincible levels of death fake-outs. Where are the stakes? I don't want to watch shows with lovable characters unless they have a very real chance of dying and breaking my heart.
Where's Agatha? Where's Rio?
Well, you see, Lilia, Rio was one of those properties Disney got in the Fox merger from a studio called Blue Sky. But since it's not Ice Age, they tossed it into the canyon where Bing Bong died. I'm pretty sure those poor birds faded away years ago.
The flow of time is an illusion, Jen. Most people don't realize that.
I try this excuse every time I'm late, but it never works. Maybe I've been a witch this entire time.
When I was a child, I experienced my life out of sequence.
Lilia should be grateful this power landed her in a cool TV show and not an aughts romance movie with Rachel McAdams. And not even the good one with Ryan Gosling.
We are not cool, teenager.
Damn, using his full name.
I f***ing love this show. Shh, don't tell anybody I actually enjoy things or I'll curse you.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have lashed out at you like that. You didn't deserve to...
To nearly drown in a bog after I mind controlled you and then tried to kill you for no real reason? Yeah, I'm gonna need a little more before I'm happy these guys are on the same team again, while also maintaining my arousal for how f***ing epic the end of episode 5 was.
Please just tell me how to control what's happening.
Your task is not to control, but to see.
Looks like Witchy Yoda went to the Every Mentor Ever school of vague guidance when spelling out the f***ing answer would do just nicely.
I was hoping I would get to skip this part entirely.
Thing we all said about Phase 5 of the MCU somehow makes it into the script. Look at that hem of Jen's dress that she just ripped by hand. It's perfect. She totally missed her calling. Instead of delivering babies, she should have been serving fashion.
Who's the Quarent?
You mean the subject? Me. I guess I'm the Quarent.
All right, Billy, leave the puns to the pros. We love you, but there's no need to LGBTs the audience.
The Quarent shuffles and cuts.
Lilia, we don't have time for this.
The show just told us that time is an illusion, but now it wants us to feel the pressure of the ticking clock. Pick a lane. I'm either not caring about having too much time or not caring about not having enough time.
Am I William or am I Billy?
Tina's asking for trouble here since the answer could very well end up being you, my child, are, without question, Billy, which is short for William, which can be shortened to Billy. Did that clear things up for you?
How are we supposed to get it right when tarot is completely subjective?
Agatha has the ability to suck the power from witches, is hundreds of years old, and has witnessed an entire town of people be consumed by a shared delusion under a red energy bubble. But no, please continue to deny that the fancy cards might be also imbued with some form of magic.
I love you guys.
Sins, like time, are a flat circle, and through this flashback, I'm going to send the 3rd episode again because of that hideous makeup. I hated it the first time.
The son of the Scarlet Witch telepathically kicked us off the road.
Technically, he telekinetically kicked you off the road. He didn't get in your head and convince you to jump in there, did he?
We sank beneath the surface, and now we're here.
I have a lot of questions.
So do I. Like, why didn't they suffocate? Why didn't they sprain something when they fell? Are witches sturdier than regular humans? Is that why they live so long? Could they have survived the drowning in episode 3 after all? When you live that long, do you constantly have to fake your own death? Where are the covens that aren't hugely dysfunctional? Why is it taking 16 years of MCUing for us to hear about witches? Wasn't Wanda a science experiment? Probably best not to start asking questions, right?
Is that the way out? Off the Witch's Road?
A subway? Really? What is this, reverse urban Hogwarts? Wait, why are the 7 down here in the tunnels? Agatha never came down here, so her trail doesn't lead into the tunnels. Are they just here to remind us that the Salem Seven exist? Also, the Salem Seven would be a lot scarier if they weren't so easily avoided with a Scooby-Doo hiding spot.
Jen, I'm going to take this path toward my trial. Agatha and Billy need my help. I hope you'll join me.
Wait, hold on. I'm sensing something here. Yes. Am I? Yes, I'm sinning through time. Specifically, the upcoming finale where Jen dies because she didn't take this opportunity to flee. I mean, she probably does die. These witches are dropping like flies. Listen, prognostication isn't an exact science. Don't at me if I'm wrong. Or do. Any engagement's good engagement, you know? 'Tis the real curse.
Three of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, High Priestess, Three of Swords.
Damn it, this might be one of the best episodes of television Marvel has ever made. It ties together all the random things Lily has said through the season and weaves those threads into, dare I say it, a satisfying narrative to give Patti LuPone an amazing finale. Go ahead and take one last sin off. Before I remember, this was supposed to be Agatha's show. However, spelling out and replaying every single time jump doesn't give the audience nearly enough credit. In fact, it's so explicit, I sense the intervening hand of a Disney witch, demanding all the pieces be laid out on a table with handy illustrated explanations.
Rio, she's dead.
Wait, hold my hammer. The MCU already has a death. It's Hela. So do Rio and Hela have to duke it out for the title? Because that might actually make for a fun movie. Can we cancel Thunderbolts and get that movie instead?
The Seven, they're here.
Nothing better than a coven of evil witches that take on the form of predatory animals, announcing themselves to their prey just like predatory animals would do. Oh, wait. Also, are they creepy? Hell yes. Are they once again going after the wrong witch? Hell yes. If the bird one dies here, I'd like to think their final thought as they're impaled is, oh why didn't I turn into a bird? Using this Inception camera angle without the required accompanying the Hans Zimmer Accord states that one requires the other.
You ready?
No.
Thing Benedict Wong says every time he has to cameo in an MCU project somehow makes its way into the episode.
He is an abomination.
He sounds more ominous, sure, but we all know she means Billy, or William, or maybe Billiam. Okay, maybe he works best in this case, but she's still being a pronoun gaming witch.
Why do you let them believe those things about you? Huh?
Because the truth is too awful.
Rio's asking the question that's on all of our minds, which is really thoughtful of her. But it's an odd question for her to ask when you realize she already knows the awful truth that Agatha is talking about and why she wouldn't want to share it. Rio shouldn't be acting like a person who hasn't seen episode 9.
So, Agatha's ex is death.
Pretty sure in most people's minds, their exes are death. Not sure this is as clarifying of a statement as you think it is.
If Billy is killed, he'll reincarnate again and then you'll lose him.
Why would she lose him? She's death, right? How does death lose track of a soul? What's stopping her from immediately finding him again after he reincarnates? I feel like all of these MCU properties should come with a handbook because I can never understand what powers said character has or the limits of said powers.
And when I die, a long time from now, I don't want to see your face.
Gotta be more specific with those wishes, Agatha. Rio could just show up wearing a ski mask when you die and technically meet this requirement. Do you know how long Phil spent painting that set background just for you to ruin it because you couldn't walk out of the shot like a normal person? Do you?
I mean, how did they even meet?
Over corpses, I imagine.
Surely with just one more episode left, they'll actually tell us how they met instead of spending an entire flashback episode showing us that Agatha the witch killer is indeed a witch killer, right? Right?
Time to finish the road.
Choosing to finish the road when you could be watching Hidalgo.
There is absolutely zero chance I'm going to endure that experience again.
To be fair, I'd take 8 more episodes of this crew completing the Witch's Road for a second time over 10 minutes of Secret Invasion.
Don't steal her struggle.
Googling, do you need paperwork to allow anyone to steal your struggle? Because if I'm ever trapped in any kind of situation, I implore you to steal all of my struggle. You don't even have to return it.
I didn't even try to save Alice.
At least someone admitted it. And I'm saying it because I'm still mad about it.
Are you the one who bound me?
No way. Because that would be a ridiculous coincidence and would feel like the show is just desperate to tie up loose ends. That's just crazy talk.
Ow! Oh, God! That is my hair!
Agatha, if your hair tore that easily, I feel like lost magic is the least of your worries. You need some biotin and better shampoo, stat. Watching Jen regain her magic after a century of losing it and being made whole at last is f***ing beautiful. Sashir Zamata has been one of the best parts of the show and is absolutely worth removing a sin for. Just take it away before I remember that she's Ghost Rider's cousin and he still isn't in the MCU yet.
This can end right here, right now.
It cannot. Unfortunately, there are still 20 minutes left in the episode.
Boys, thanks for choosing me to be your mom.
Thinking you need to borrow the tears I shed during WandaVision to add an emotional punch to this show's penultimate episode. A show that will already have me bawling aplenty before all is said and done, you emotionally manipulative, beautiful bastards.
You can't keep him. So where does he go?
I don't know!
I also don't know how Agatha knows how to do this. Do we just chalk it up to her being an ancient witch? Is that enough for you? Because it's not enough for me.
Can't find a place.
Don't give me that. 120 bodies empty out every minute.
120 bodies might be a great start, but how many of those are bodies that Tommy would be able to inhabit? I'm not saying one needs to be super picky when choosing a new body for reincarnation purposes, but maybe at the very least have an Amazon wish list ready to go?
Agatha, am I killing this boy so my brother can live?
No, Billy. Sometimes boys die.
Catherine Hahn so perfectly embodies the role of a mother who has done terrible things all her life after being twisted by the grief of loss. So go ahead and take away one more sin before I remember that she killed a dog.
Congratulations, my love!
Aubrey Plaza plays a character who revels in other people's misery. Cliché.
I want my prize!
This raises a good point. Both Billy and Jen teleported out of the Witch's Road when they got what they wanted at the end. So if Agatha was allowed to leave the Witch's Road, why didn't she get her powers back? Is it just so you can have Billy show up and save her in a few minutes? It's so Billy can show up and save her in a few minutes, isn't it?
I'm thinking death by 1,000 cuts!
I really don't understand the Agatha-Rio relationship. Sure, Rio has a job to do. Agatha's been alive way too long, so she's got to bring her in. Rio has feelings for Agatha. She decides to slowly bleed Agatha to death while cackling. It might be entertaining, but it doesn't really make sense.
I am the natural order of all things, baby.
Episode does not contain a group of teenagers getting final destinationed.
Don't take it all.
He says to the gluttonous serial killer. Quick question. I've loved all the costumes in this show. They're one of my favorite parts of the series. But did this particular outfit change need Agatha to hit a requisite level of power before she could summon it? I'm a little confused about how magic clothes work.
We can't fight death.
No, but they could flee death, right? Billy's already proved death can apparently lose track of souls. Agatha's been bargaining with death for centuries, so fight isn't their only option, right?
Is this how Nikki died?
Billy guilting Agatha into sacrificing herself after he already volunteered to stay with death. Way to play on that trauma, Billy. Billy really is just like his mom. Rio looks way too sad for someone who tried to murder Agatha with a kitchen sink. Whoa, she decomposed real fast. Is it a witch thing or an age thing or maybe a kissing death thing? You've got me thinking about biology and ecosystems now, and I don't like it. Rio is suddenly cool with the whole Billy being an abomination and upsetting the balance of life and death thing. Padding your runtime with a walk of shame. New Jersey. Nothing says superhero more than driving away in defeat in a Subaru Forester while mournful music plays.
I'm gone for 24 hours. What happened?
I feel like more time could have been spent on Billy telling his parents what happened, and less time could have been spent on his moody emo walk. Oh no. Are they Kaiser Sozeing us? I think they're f***ing Kaiser Sozeing us.
It was me.
Not ending this episode with a chipper It Was Billiam All Along song. Going out into the woods when you're having contractions just to make sure you'll have a nice view of a pretty lake during labor. This sin is for making me spend 15 minutes researching lemons in the 1700s. Yes, they had them in New England. Maybe they were used in childbirth. And yes, I am still confused.
Please let him live! Please, my love!
Wait, so they were already together? I've waited 8 episodes to find out how the two started hooking up, and you're not going to tell me, are you? I don't care about her dumb baby. No offense, dumb baby.
I can offer only time.
How much time?
Asking this when the f***ing Reaper has just allowed your previously dead son to be born alive. When Rio bends the rules of the universe, you say thank you and then get back to birthing your child. The caption for this sentence is literally speaks Latin. You might as well not have bothered at all. Can't tell you how monumentally useless those subtitles were in that moment, but I can show you. Here, have a sin. Also, just once I'd like a spell to be in German so I can be more entertained than confused. This show is trying to single-handedly bring Latin back from the dead. Murdering people who offered you food. If someone offers me food, I'm their friend for life. Buy me a pizza and I'll help you do anything. From moving boxes to murdering someone who didn't offer you food. Dining and dashing.
Do you shame your mother?
Thing my mom asked me during every parent-teacher conference somehow makes it into the episode. She is murdering murdering and draining these witches right next to a crowded market and no one comes over to see what's going on? It's the 1700s. They literally have nothing else to do besides going towards screams. They don't even have casinos yet.
Walk, walk, walk the road.
Subjecting your viewers to hear another little boy singing after the torture that was Wanda's twins singing about ice cream.
I'm hungry.
You want a lesson, you say?
No, Mom. I want some chicken nuggies, but all you have is deception.
But I cannot heal you. I cannot protect you from what's coming.
But can you feed him? All of this was because he wants some food? What are you going to do when he asks for his Millennium Falcon Lego set? Recite Shakespeare?
Pierce.
That was a weak-ass attempt at blowing dandelion seeds. Look at that. Most of them are still attached. Forget magical lessons, Agatha. You gotta build that kid's lung capacity.
We can kill more witches tomorrow. I promise.
Unkeepable promises. Oh no, the shot is red now. Something bad must be about to happen. Are you kidding me? Rio sent Nicholas back to his mother one last time? I'll put these flippin' onions in the recording booth again. Now I have to disinfect my keyboard so the emotions, the onions oils don't linger. Onions. I'm going to ask a controversial question here. I feel bad even asking it, but Agatha's kid died over 260 years ago. Shouldn't she be over it by now? Just a little bit? Yeah, it's sad, and she's had to have seen a lot of people die by now, right? It happened a really long time ago, is all I'm saying. Yeah, I'll send myself out. Also, this has a cough death is way less cool than her giving up her kid for the Darkhold or something, right? Sure, technically his death paved the way for the greatest witch-killing trap ever, and that's a pretty great deal for Agatha, but the show asked me to do the mental gymnastics to make Nicholas's death more interesting than a cough.
You must know the way then.
Not even waiting until Nicholas's funeral is over to ask Agatha for a favor. Come on, she hasn't even finished saying goodbye and you're already interrupting to ask about the road? 3 sins for poor etiquette. I would never be so insensitive.
Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road.
You really wanted to get as much mileage out of that song as you could, huh? It is great, but I feel like even the Eagles didn't play Hotel California this much. I like how this whole con depends on Agatha getting people so angry they try to immediately kill her with magic. Why does no one, throw a punch? Why does no one strike her upside the head with a stick? Personally, I never want to get so powerful that I forget the classics. You go into your Disney Marvel show worried they're going to take the edge off the villainous protagonist, but lo and behold, she actually turns out to be a serial killer con woman? And damn, maybe this is a bit much? She can't even use the death of her son as an excuse because she was already a serial killer when he was alive. We're back to episode 2? Did Christopher Nolan give you permission to skip about your show's timeline this much? Because I kind of feel like you need his permission to jump around this much.
I saw you die.
Yeah, we just covered that, Billy. Try to keep up. She's a ghost now.
By the way, I did not sacrifice myself for you. I took a calculated risk.
Calculated risk to do what? To be translucent? To never need keys again? To guest star on CBS's breakout sitcom Ghosts?
Unlike your mother. Sorry. Wanda, you actually did something interesting with your power.
Wanda did lots of interesting things with her power. Her power led to Hulk versus Hulkbuster, Thanos' ass whooping, creating Billy, and subsequently Billy's fascinating power. So give a witch credit where it's due, Agatha.
I'm a murderer.
Manslaughterer. Being a teen is no excuse to not know the law. Though, to be fair, you are also an attempted murderer since you did try to kill Jen and Lilia, but we'll just gloss over that. So, Jen made it out alive. I was wrong about my prediction, so here's a sin for making me wrong. It's petty, I know, but I've got what it takes to be that bitter. Again, I have to ask, a bunch of spooky shit happened in this town when Wanda was there. More spooky shit happened last night when Death fought Agatha. And Nick Fury doesn't have the place under 24/7 surveillance? How was no one from Sward here to watch Jen fly away? That's right, I said Sward. Hang on, it's been 1 day since Agatha died. Who boarded up her door? Billy didn't do that before he left. Did her neighbors decide enough was enough and nobody should live in this house for a while?
Looks like analog magic.
As opposed to all the digital magic everyone's been using so far in this show?
What are you doing?
I'm banishing you.
For someone who was shaken up for being responsible for murder a few minutes ago, he sure is willing to murder this ghost. I know, it's weird because she's already dead, but if you look at it as him removing a sentient entity from the world, I think it tracks. There are 32 candles at Billy's feet in the shot, but only 31 of them are lit. Wouldn't that mess up the ritual?
Why are you still here? Why won't you just die?
Because I can't face him!
You mean your accomplice? I mean, 6-year-old son who already knows you're an unrepentant serial killer? He'd probably be pretty chill if he saw you again. He'd be all like, hey, Mom, you kept killing witches? Just couldn't help yourself, huh?
I'm sure he would forgive you for whatever you did.
Someone needs to tell Billy that bad people can be sad too, but that doesn't mean they don't still deserve to be banished. If that was the case, I'd never been kicked out of a club in my life. What? I do things. I'm hip.
Coven 2?
Not immediately following those words up with Electric Boogaloo. That's really sweet until you realize that whoever buys this house next is gonna probably have the basement tore up and redone. So it'll last for, what, a few months, tops? Also, plaque does not include a tiny asterisk with the line, I died on the Witch's Road and all I got was this memorial plaque in an evil witch's abandoned basement.
Let's go find Tommy.
No. First, you must find Senor Scratchy. This show isn't ending without confirmation that the bunny made it out alive, is it? Is it? You monsters!
I'm melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world!
A friendly desert community where the sun is hot, the moon is beautiful, and mysterious lights pass overhead.
Got a case only you can solve.
You were really the only one left.
You use that line at the supermarket checkout, too.
You're pretty cocky for someone whose job is obsolete because of the internet.
How did you get out the wormhole?
I am not the only one that wants to see you dead.
I'm going to murder you 1,000 times.
Okay, so confession, I know an egregious amount about you.
Oh my god, I got my very own stalker!
What witch in her right mind would join Agatha Harkness's coven?
I think it's this poncho. I mean, it's impossible to be unhappy in a poncho.
Say hi, Pet.
Hi.
It's fine. It's just us.
Why are we whispering?
Apparently some people needed skin grafts.
I have done nothing wrong ever in my life.
Pancho!
There will be no foolish wand-waving or silly incantations in this class.
So who's going high?
Someone give me a cigarette. Now!
How are you doing that with your mouth? Well, I thought that this was pretty obvious, but for the uninitiated.
Throw out your rules. These are road rules.
It's a riddle.
And I love riddles.
All right, fine. I drink a little.
But it's all organic, right? I mean, there's no petroleum in there.
It's vegan. I found the frankincense.
And myrrh, which I am regifting, because who needs myrrh?
Once our intentions are aligned, it'll glow bright cerulean.
You're also blithely unaware of the fact that in 2002, Oscar de la Renta did a collection of cerulean gowns.
I hate this goddamn water park!
Burn and brew with Coven 2, and glory shall be thine.
No more rhymes now, I mean it!
The spell must marinate, gestate.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Maybe the road is like Switzerland.
Switzerland is small and neutral.
Is this gonna be one of those cool bachelorette parties where things get out of control and we murder someone and then we all have to take a blood oath to never reveal our secret?
Well, this piece is called Lick My Love Pump.
That boy isn't yours.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
What kind of illiterate ass ghost is this?
I'm crazy? I'm crazy?
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
What? That can't be good. What am I, psychic?
My name is Dean Winchester.
Andy crawled to freedom through 500 yards of smelling foulness I can't even imagine.
I'm just gonna go spend my time doing exactly what I want to do because I don't have children.
Tommy!
Hi, Dobby. Hi, Chicky.
You're just gonna ask me your questions. Aloud.
What color is my underwear?
The road is a fickle mistress.
Spank you, Greenwall! Spank you very much.
Well, you seem pleased with your look.
Know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
Missed it by that much.
Tea leaves.
Tea tends to give me the trots.
Am I William or am I Billy?
That, detective, is the right question.
You mentioned something about gaps?
If she's got gaps, I got gaps. Together we fill gaps. I don't know.
He is an abomination!
You call what you did special treatment.
Special treatment for the special boy.
Why do you let them believe those things about you? Huh? About Nikki?
I met little Nicky.
If Billy is killed, he'll reincarnate again and then you'll lose him.
Science!
Hey! Liar!
I'm thinking death by 1,000 cuts!
That was Annette Bening from American Beauty.
Got soup.
Boo! You stink!
All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us.
Why won't you just die?
Nanomachine, son!